me one time. Yes, the Capital City Podcast. We're back once again. I'm Capital J, your host, alongside my main man,
DL Glass.
And tonight, we got a very special guest. I would say the top DJ around here right now.
Okay.
Goes by the name of DJ Skillz. You got some applause? Pull up the applause.
Skillz the DJ.
What's going on?
What's happening, man? Welcome to the Capital City Podcast.
Man, glad I could be here.
And we're glad you can make it too. Now, here's how we usually do this thing. I'm going to tell the people a little bit, and then I'm going to hand it over to you and let you complete your story, all right?
Let's do it.
All right. First off, who is DJ Skillz? Going back, I say probably, early 2000s, I started noticing DJ Skillz.
Okay.
I seen him come up. I seen him do the work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And over time, I said, hey, man, this guy is elevating constantly. And here he is today. Now, during your story, I'm going to tell you some times that you might not notice that I was there watching or whatever, but I've been watching. You know what I'm saying? And I know what a good DJ does, and I know a good DJ when I see one. I'm telling you right now that I recognize you as a good DJ. Great DJ. And that's why we're bringing this man on the show, because our whole show is about hip-hop, the impact that cats from North Carolina are having on the industry and on the game. So we cannot have this show going on with the guests that we had and not make sure we reach out to one of the hottest DJs doing this thing.
Respect.
So respect due. Now.
I appreciate that.
No doubt. You earned it, sir. Now, with all that being said, we like to start at the beginning. Where is DJ Skillz from, first off, and how did you get interested in DJing?
Well, I'm from Florence, South Carolina. You know, that's right there where I-95 and I-20 begin. Absolutely. Where I'm from, I always had a fascination with hip hop and DJing. Ever since I was like 5 years old, always been into like music and instruments. Taught myself how to play drums when I was like 5, 6 years old. But I didn't really get into DJing, like really taking it serious until I was like 15 years old. I had got a cousin by the name of DJ Said. He used to DJ at the House of Blues at their only hip hop night when they opened in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, dope.
And he actually he gave me my first mixer, which was a realistic mixer that they sold at Radio Shack. That was my first mixer.
Ooh, the realistic.
Gemini, along with a Gemini BD10 turntable belt drive.
What?
That was my starter kit.
Hang on. I gotta explain to the people. Like that's starting from the bottom, y'all.
The very bottom. I don't think you can get no lower than that.
You know what I'm saying? First of all, if people don't know, the Technique 1200s are one thing to deal with. When you're dealing with Gemini with a belt drive, you got to learn how to manipulate that record. You got to put the right amount of pressure on. If you want that record to start and sound like a Technique, you got to adjust everything.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So respect to anybody that could work a set of Geminis off top.
That's what taught me how to have light hands.
Right.
In the beginning.
Right. When you got on those 12s, it was nothing.
Man, I was floating.
Right. Okay. Well, continue. I ain't mean to interrupt your story. We just talking.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, let's go.
You're good. So after I had my set, found out that I had another cousin that was a prominent DJ in South Carolina as well. That was actually in my city, and he was the first DJ to have a hip hop show in my city on Win 106.3. And once we connected through a mutual friend that I had in high school at the time that was becoming an up and coming MC. Once he found out, it was like, yo, come to the studio. And from there, man, I started doing the work in the studio. He would leave me in there at times, like he'd go to work, he might go see his chick, and he'd just like, yo, study all these records on this wall. And mind you, he's a record collector still to this day. Shout out to my cousin says, shout out to Mark Ella Vincent. Mark Ella Vincent is still a record collector to this day. So then like we talking 96, 97, around this time. I'm learning old school records,
Right.
not the popular Buster. I already knew those records. Peter Guns, Uptown Anthem, all these records is hot. I'm going back learning the Alicia Myers and the Herman Kelly. You know, I'm learning the breaks.
So that's,
And
I seen that. I was wondering, I was going to ask you, because I know you're younger than me, but you moved through that era a little bit, like you've been there. So I was wondering, I was going to ask you where you got that.
yeah, that was my intro. My cousin said like he played that way as well, and all of them are older than me.
Right.
But they were like getting booked to do receptions, and you know back then you kind of just had to play everything. So like their old school crates was deep. They was playing break beats and samples from like, you know, Tribe, and they was incorporate these things and they partied then. So that was my tutorage coming up. So like I said, I was knowing the popular records that me and my peers, you know, like I said, at this time I'm like 15, 16 years old, but at the same time, they're telling me, nah, we know you can do that. Go learn these records. So I'm the Gaza and all of these records. I'm learning these records, learning how to play the breaks, knowing about the break beats, the importance of it. And mind you, I heard some of these songs before because I got a musically inclined family, but just from a DJ perspective,
Right.
knowing it, you know, because I always say, even to this day, it's not what you play, it's how you play it, you know. So presentation is everything. So that kind of like helped shape and mold that. And from a solid foundation standpoint, and this had to be my 11th grade year. By then I did my first mixtape. People in the school started to notice me as a DJ because I was known in the school for playing ball. I was a basketball player. So that's what they knew me as. But once I did a mixtape, it was like, oh shit, this is what you're doing. And it wasn't a bad mixtape.
Right.
Started being known for the parties. Then my cousin said he did a party in Atlantic Beach for his birthday. He had all the top DJs from North Carolina and South Carolina. It was more top DJs from South Carolina than North Carolina, but he had like DJ Kashin,
Right.
B-Lord, Prince Ice. There's a couple of big name DJs from the beach. Turk Nice, Mike Tech, my cousins Mark Ella Vincent, and it was Said party.
Right.
So Said was like, yo, I'm gonna have you open. For all of these DJs, you're gonna be the opening DJ to start the night off. So when I opened that night, all the DJs was there in the building. B-Lord was there. I think he was like watching my set, or he was listening, paying attention. And then, you know, after my set, he was like, yo, your set was dope. Yo, like, where you from? And I'm like, I'm from Florence. I had already knew who he was. He didn't know who I was.
Yeah, he was the mixtape king back in South Carolina.
Mixtape, parties. He was the mainstream face of South Carolina when it came to DJing at this time. So, but I had already known him because him and my cousins, they done collaborated on parties, mixtapes. You know, they had a certain, like a brotherhood. So, right. But he just didn't know me. So when I told him I was from Florence, it was just like, word. Man, you know, the talk got a little bit deeper, and it was like, yo, you got management, this, that, and the third. I'm like, nah, like, I'm fresh in this. Like, you serious about it? I'm like, dead serious. I'm here. And, you know, I had every DJ that knew me in that room because vouch for me. So that was kind of like a solid play. And then he was like, yo, when you get back to Florence, I want to sit and talk with you about possible management. Mind you, I'm going into my 12th grade year at this time. Yeah, I was going to my 12th grade year at this time. So we met at Applebee's on Irby Street, Florence, South Carolina. I still remember it to this day. And, you know, we were just talking about goals and things that I wanted to do and what he had coming up. And, you know, he was already traveling on the road at that point in time. So he's like, yeah, I'm looking for a solid opening DJ. And he's like, I think I can provide some opportunities for you, you know, in the midst of that. And he's like, if you with it, he's like, I got a contract, take this on your parents, let your parents see it, you know. And, you know, we all looked over it, felt like it was a good opportunity. And I was even to go to school the next year anyway. So that was kind of like my introduction into stepping into, from the beginning to stepping into the next realm.
Okay, I got a question, man. Mm-hmm. I like watching you move. Like when I came in the game, things were a little bit more, I want to use a cliche term like old school, but like when you mention management, Like I saw like from North Carolina, I could see how B-Lord was moving. And there's a difference. I think the difference that you just mentioned was management. And that's something that I didn't see a lot of DJs around here have. So I didn't, that's something that I didn't have to, I didn't have a mentor who had management to even think on that level at that time when I was coming up. That's really important, and it's a part of the game that a lot of people miss. I'm glad, and what I'm finding out is you're not new to this level of business. So you started off in the game. Your first introduction, you're doing with a guy who's already got the business side already on lock and can explain that to you. So to me, that explains a lot right there. And I would tell people coming up now, you want to be more serious. Like back when I was coming up, it was almost a word of mouth thing.
Right.
You know,
it was definitely a word of mouth thing. But I tell people this to this day, South Carolina was just different.
I'm glad you said that.
I don't know, and I'm gonna say this humbly and respectfully, and no disrespect to no DJs from any other state, but I don't see no other DJs that ever hustled from a business standpoint like DJs from South Carolina. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at Cleve. Look at B-Lord. All of these DJs, B-Lord laid the blueprint for DJs in South Carolina to throw their. Most of the DJs in South Carolina, when I was coming up, was throwing their own events. That's how they got on. That's how I got on. Like, you got to think, I'm in Florence, even though I'm a youngin', it was 3 other DJs that was in my age bracket that was popping all from the other side of town. I think it was like 2 from the north side and another from the west side. And I was the only DJ from the south side at my age. B-Lord, we talking 96, 97. Right. B-Lord was that guy nationally. B-Lord would throw a party at our National Guard Armory, pack out 1,000 people, have a whole nother 500 outside, still trying to get in.
Right.
Every time he threw his own parties on a consistent basis. He created his own hot. So for me, that was kind of like, we saw it firsthand. So, I had some older peers around me, my brother Big Will, and my homegirl Sophie, she was along with me. When I got into DJing, I did her birthday party. And it was a lot of people that was in our school that went to the birthday party. It was like a private function, but it was like enough to create a following. Because before I was DJing, I was always a people person. So it wasn't like people gravitated to him as like, oh, because he's a DJ now. It was like, no, I was already cool with these people before I started DJing. Now that I'm DJing, it's just a whole nother element in a realm outside of sports for them to something that they attached to. So after that, it was kind of like, yo, let's throw our own party for the team. So our first party that we threw in our city, outside of doing Sophie's party, was a pool party at the city pool. I don't think they really understood the magnitude of what it was going to be. So the first one that we threw, I had some real tiny ass speakers from a Radio Shack, but it was enough for me to get the job done. I had every high school in the city there. And Florence got 3 high schools: South Florence, West Florence, and Wilson. I went to South Florence. Wilson is the predominantly black high school, and West Florence is the predominant, more, on the Euro side.
Right, we get it.
Right.
Yeah. So everybody in the city came out. So that was enough for us to say, well, we're going to do this again. The second time we did it, the cops came and shut it down. It was way too many people there. And after that kind of helped. That more so solidified me from, okay, he's here. So I'm doubling back because I remember the conversation I was having with B-Lord when he was asking me a lot of questions at that first event he saw me at. I mentioned to him that was us, that was me that did the pool party. And he was just like, that was you?
Oh.
And it was, the eyes got big. We was the first ones to ever throw a pool party in our city. Me and my crew.
Hey, I got a question for you since we're going back for a minute. Because you mentioned earlier your first mixtape. And I know what the music scene was like where I was from during that time. Like, where was your and the reason I asked this question is because I think the further south of North Carolina you get, leading into South Carolina has a whole different sound than everything north of that point. And what was the content on that mixtape? And I just want to put that in perspective because it'll show the difference of North Carolina and South Carolina, basically, and how things were going.
It wasn't the only difference. Like in my city, in Florence, you would hear more boot camp click. We love Big, we love Nas, Keith Murray, the same typical things that Ill Ass Scratch. Whatever New York was listening to, we was on it. Because you got to think, my cousin, they looked at him like a southern version of Evil D. Right. He had a crew called Catastrophe, which was like a crew that was pretty much like the boot camp clique. All of them was lyrically nice, and my cousin was the producer for them. They did not sound like South Carolina. They pretty much like any rapper coming from North or South Carolina during that time. We talking mid-90s, you know?
Okay.
I was going to ask, when did you start to see the shift? From the northern influence to the southern influence, you know, for
Master P, Goody Mob. I mean, when it came to the parties, of course, we was playing the Loops and the 95 South records and the, MC Shy D's, and we was playing all of those. But when the Master P and stuff came out, that's when and Goody Mob, that was kind of like the shift, and Outkast. That was kind of the shift because we was, Outkast is like, still felt like hip hop. It was just southern hip hop, Right. But then when the Master P and the TRU came out, that was the shift.
Right.
That was the shift.
Yeah, I would say. I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but I would say that's what I noticed too. The real shift. I would say Master P was the catalyst for the real shift. Outkast and Goody, they had that time, but you could play it right along with the New York hip hop, and it was the same tempo, the same vibe. Master P, it's like, I gotta get more of this. Yeah.
It's different.
He made you grab. He made, like, with Master P being hot, all of a sudden, UGK and Scarface got more attention.
Yes. 8-Ball MJG.
Right.
The 8-Ball MJG, Hot Boys when they first came out. I'm talking about Juvenile, Dog Ass. All of those records was like. It was like my city was identifying and could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? If you in South Carolina, you can relate to the Hot Boys. Like that's a lot of the hoods in South Carolina.
And that's crazy because being here in North Carolina during this time, it was hard for that transition to move from New York to accepting the Southern stuff.
Yeah, it came in a wave.
Yeah,
and like being in Greensboro, I would gravitate towards Raleigh and DJ some, but then sometimes I'm heading down to Charlotte, and it's just I'm playing different.
Right.
When I go to Raleigh, not in Greensboro, I play all of it. In Charlotte, more south. Greensboro, how
close it is to
Raleigh, more New York.
Right.
Greensboro probably was the most go-go friendly. Not as much in Charlotte and Raleigh. Even though I could play go-go in both, I could go deeper in Greensboro, deeper into the I think it's the college influence.
Absolutely, yeah.
I could go anywhere in Greensboro, it felt like.
Yeah.
Florence was kind of like the same way. And then, Florence and Columbia, from Columbia all the way over to the beach, all the way down to Charleston, they were all pretty much like Greensboro, but removed the go-go and a little bit less house. Reggae, heavy. Hip-hop, heavy. R&B, heavy. Down south, heavy. So it was like a melting pot, and you can get away with all of it. So for me, that balance it definitely helped. Because when I came to North Carolina to school, it was just kind of like, it was a shockwave to them because it's like, where you from?
Right.
I'm from South Carolina. And they like, what you know about this and this, that, and the third? I'm like, man, I've been listening since I was a kid. Like, one of my first cassettes was The Youngsters. Like, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the LL Cool J Mama Said Knock You Out album, Chill, and Around the Way Girl, I was playing that joint till my joint pop. Like, I was breathing that.
Right.
Like, since I was a kid. So it was just like don't get it twisted. Like, cats in South Carolina be on it. And also, artists like Keith Murray, Mobb Deep, they were coming to my city to do shows.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they promoted
my high school years. Yeah.
They promoted down south heavily because they knew we were buying records.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Golly, I had my next question I was gonna ask you, I forgot.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. But look, I wrote something down about the business side. Like when you were talking about throwing your own parties and all that. Like I noticed, all right, I'm from Tarboro, North Carolina, eastern North Carolina.
Okay.
And, you know, the cities east of Raleigh in North Carolina are a little bit smaller.
Towns.
And the DJs that I noticed around there, I would see more examples of DJs who would take the party scene into their own hands and be like, look, if it's going down, I'm going to have to do it. And, you know,
Right.
I think DJ Slide was the guy that used to do a lot of that when I was growing up. And I think he may have migrated down to South Carolina at some point, or might have been from South Carolina. I'm not sure. But when I got to Greensboro, I noticed that rather than the DJs taking it into their own hands, there seemed to be so much action around town, you just wait for a call.
Absolutely.
Rather than take it, you know, I got to make something happen because there's nothing happening. It seemed like so much happening that I'm just going to go where the wind blows me.
Okay.
Right.
You know, and I think that may be it may be the reason the smaller areas, the DJs are more business savvy. You know,
Right.
Because dudes back home, man, we got a dude back home right now. He opened up a club. You know, DJ Crunk down there in Tarboro, opened up the whole
that's
spot.
my guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy, Crunk. Yeah.
All right.
Right. But
Well,
you
you
know,
gotta
you don't
realize-
know DJs doing that in the larger cities. They just out here working for people.
Right. And South Carolina was different too because we thought you seen drug money come through here. Like it was a lot of drug money that was floating around in South Carolina for these different entities, whether it's rapper or DJ, to have that focus. You know what I mean, on how to make it. And
Right.
That's
Yeah,
for me
it
being
was way different.
Yeah, it's way different. Yeah.
I remember my question. Where'd you go to school?
High school, college,
St.
Augustine.
St. Aug.
Wow. Okay.
St. Aug.
13, 15, Oakwood Avenue.
Hey, that's what's up.
Do you give back to St. Aug?
Yeah, they need you, Skills. They need you.
And they need a whole lot more than me.
They need to put some Vaseline on St. Aug. They look a little ashy over there,
Man,
man.
listen,
They need to get it together.
So that brought
over
you.
there so deep, man. Yeah, that problem's so deep over there, man. It's sad.
Right.
So that that brought you to the Raleigh area.
Absolutely. My choices was Raleigh. My first choice was Greensboro. I'm the A&T. That was my first choice. Then Fayetteville State was my second choice, and Raleigh was my last choice.
You knew you were leaving South Carolina.
Absolutely. I know I was going to North Carolina because even with me being a DJ and like really getting into everything, and I quit playing basketball my 12th grade year in high school. I didn't even play at all.
Oh, wow.
I got injured at the end of towards the end of my 11th grade year. I got injured. I was almost paralyzed.
Oh man.
And your parents always say you need to have a backup plan. And so, my backup plan, I was like, shit, I'm about to start taking this DJing thing more seriously. And by then, I was making a little bit of money. So, my thing was, me and my homeboys, they was like, well, we gonna play all sports. I seen you, just football and basketball. We just gonna go out our senior year, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna pass up on the football. Or I'm gonna throw the parties because if I play football, I can't throw after parties after the games.
Right.
And that was another thing that kind of like helped solidify me my senior year because I was renting out a place called the Savannah Grove Hall. Me and my homies, Will and Sophie, and we would pack that joint out because we couldn't get the pool no more. So we would pack that joint out. Everybody from East Florence, North Florence, West Florence, from the South Side, Tarryville, Park City, my hood, Willow Creek, Evergreen, everybody in the city was there. So all of that helped build my name my 12th grade year before I left. So, like I said, I was, I wanted to take up mass communication because, and concentrate in broadcasting. So that was my main thing. And I'm just like, okay, to me, North Carolina was like baby New York to me.
Hey,
just
man.
the state, you know what I'm saying? So that was the closest thing I know I could get to. So that was more so a lot of my influence to trying to come to North Carolina.
I think you looked at, the that time to go to college, I think you saw the kind of the way that I did at the time, coming from Eastern North Carolina, going to Greensboro. For me, it's like, you know, get away from here and go where it's a little more popping. And when you got there, I'm gonna ask you this question: that, like, being another dude that went to school from one area, showed up another area, how long did it take you to get your first gig, and what was it when you got to Raleigh?
This is funny. So when I got to Raleigh, we talking summer '98. Got to Raleigh, freshman orientation, all that freshman week. They had, you know, they always had the freshman party.
Right.
Well, it was just the freshmen. So that week, you know, I definitely linked with some guys that we still tight to this day. I got Mike Murph, Reese, Nas, and all of them was from VA, Philly, and Jersey. So they all was from up north. And our bond was built off of, you know, we kind of like into the same thing, but then when it, like personally, but then musically, we was all into the same thing. And I was a cat from South Carolina that knew what they was on because I listened to it as well. So, you know, I start telling them I DJ or whatever. They didn't second guess it. So the freshman party, you know, I'm there as a student, you know, not as a DJ. I'm there partying, dancing with girls, you know, being a college freshman. And they went in, you know, it was a group of chicks that was from VA in North Carolina that was kind of like hanging with us as well too. And we all still, it was us and them. And I don't know if it was the girls or my homies. They was like, yo, they were telling DJ, yo, let my man spin. Cause there was a lot of freshmen out there, but it wasn't dancing.
Right.
So they was like, yo, let my man spin. And I guess, you know, DJ, you know, they look at you like, man, who's freshman? They're like, come on, let them DJ. Like, you know, so I know, because I was already used to that at that time. I'm from South Carolina. They're going to always look down and, you know, it is what it is. But eventually he's like, yo, come on, you want to DJ? And I'm like, yeah. So I started asking for certain records. And I remember I asked for, I had this routine I used to do with the Get Up break. And then I would play the Lost Boys version of Get Up, but with the Brick House beat, with the Brick House break.
Right. Yeah,
so,
that Kenny Dope, use the Kenny Dope joint. Get up, clap your hands. Yeah.
I would use that, you know, the break. Get up.
Yeah.
Come on. That's what I started with.
Right.
Everybody got up and started moving. Then I went to the you know, like it's like I think I used like an 8 or 16 bar joint on it on the break. And then I cut in the, I seen the homies trying to get with us. I seen the phones and the sons trying to sit with us.
Right.
Mr. Cheeks, Get Up, the remix.
Yes, sir.
So it was and I could tell it was like this kid know what he doing.
Right.
So he let me keep going. Even though it wasn't my crate, I was figuring it out and I was playing jams, ended up getting to like the Percolator and the Soho records. Because my cousin them, they was playing these in South Carolina. Especially my cousin, like I said, he a record collector, but he's playing like house records, like deep house records. So I was in tune to all of that before I even got to Raleigh. So when I got there, it's kind of like, I already know what y'all on. Y'all just don't think that I know.
Right.
I was tapping right into that bag, and then after a while, it was like, all right, let me get it. Like, let me get back on. Because it was like, I could take this thing for the rest of the night, like, because I was trained to go.
Right. Quick question. After that, what was the first club spot you did in Raleigh?
I don't even know if you know the story, Cap. So I used to listen to you on the radio when I was coming to Greensboro, because so after that night, I never played a club in Raleigh officially until 2000, 2001. So we talking about 2 to 3 years. I'm going to break something down for you.
All right.
So the end of my first semester, 98 going into 99, my first experience on the road was the RZA Bobby Digital tour. I was the opening DJ for that tour. So that was my first exposure to the road. Came back, summer 99. My parents let me bring my truck back. I had a little Blazer, Chevy Blazer, navy blue Chevy Blazer. Let me bring that back. And I went on my first tour at the start of the fall semester 99. I was on the 2620 Black College tour with Youngblood, Jim Crow, which was Polo the Don, the group One Life to Live with Red Handed, and all of those guys. I think it was like on the 20 Touch. Right. That was like a 30-city tour. All this was like my introduction. mind you, during that same time, I had a cousin that went to A&T, but they had lived in Raleigh. Larry King had Pleasure. And he kept telling Larry, like, yo, you need to rock with my cousin. So I want to say it was 1999 or maybe it was 2000. Now, you already know the spot I'm about to say. It was the Greensboro Ball, Thumping Thursday.
Word. That's what's
Larry
up.
called. Yeah, Larry. He told my cousin, I guess my cousin gave him a couple of my mixtapes and like, yo, he a young college student. Like, yo, I'm telling you, like, he can go. So Larry's like, all right, bring him down. You know, I think he might have gave me like $50 or some shit like that. He's like, and I'll check him out.
That sound like Larry.
Mm-hmm. And you know, me during that time, I was just like, you know, I want the opportunity because I know what I'm gonna do. Like, it ain't gonna squander. Like, I'm gonna make something out of this.
Right.
So, you know, I went there, opened, killed it, and he was just like, even right after my set, he was just like, yo, you want to open up every Thursday out here? I like, let's do it. So that was my first real gig in North Carolina on a consistent basis. And I was doing Thumping Thursdays until it was like a whole solid year and a half before I started doing the headline from that night. And it was a switch.
Who was coming on after you during that time?
Storm, because Storm had the 10 o'clock the Knicks that night.
Hey, let me tell you something. When you brought up Storm right then, okay, here's how, like, from my perspective, there are only two DJs that, as long as I've been DJing, the people who I've worked for, the only two DJs who, like, you know how you might have a gig, you can't do it, another DJ come, you know you'll be back next month or next week or whatever.
Right.
The only two DJs that I'm like, okay, they got one of these two guys, then if they're available next time, now I know that I may not be back, was only Skillz and Storm. And it's funny you brought Storm up because he is the other DJ. Like, I'm you know, here's the deal, Skillz. When you're a good DJ and you know it, you know, like, when you go somewhere, you know that whoever come in after you, they ain't gonna do what you did, right?
Right.
So after a while, you get comfortable. Am I lying? You can get
you intro on my next story.
You get comfortable. So I got comfortable for a while.
Okay.
Storm showed up first. And this is the only person I you know, for the area, I got it on lock.
Okay.
At the time.
Right.
Storm came. I was like, oh man, this is a DJ who is gonna rock the party as hard as me. And I need to make sure that when I come back next time, I gotta rock even harder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Storm's my boy, of course. But much respect. And Skillz the other one. Like, I could think of times like I know, like Quadji, for example. Like, you know, me and Quadji from the same town.
Right, yep, Tarboro, yep.
Right. So, you know, like I work for Quadji plenty. Same thing with King. King's from around my way too. Like, I know all these dudes.
Right.
And I know how they are about their DJs.
Absolutely.
If you're not getting it done, they not really, you know. So if I'm working and they have somebody else, they call me back, then I know, you know, I know what it is. But if somebody else comes and they don't call me the next time and hit me back when that person not available, I'm like, that person must have done a really good job.
Right.
So, and that night, I don't know if you remember this, but we were doing the Empire Room for A&T Homecoming. It was me, you, K-Nice, and I forgot who the fourth DJ was.
Was I downstairs that night? I think that might have been the first year. And I was downstairs.
I don't know if it was your first year. Maybe you were downstairs the first year, but the second year, I had just gotten a Serato. And let me tell you about my relationship with the Serato.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 20 plus years with records and turntables.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, I cut my teeth on them. I didn't have a job, nothing. All I did, I woke up in the morning, turntables, records, went to sleep, turntables, records. On the radio, Monday through Thursday, turntables, records. Friday night on the radio, turntables, records. In the club, turntables, records. Serato drops. I'm on the morning show.
Okay.
5 to 9 every morning, 5 to 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Then I still got my other job that I'm doing and trying to DJ, and a new piece of technology came out. And I remember we were on the elevator getting ready to load in.
Okay.
And you already had the Serato Skillz. And I don't know if you remember, but I asked you at the time, I said, hey, man, how long did it take you to get comfortable on the Serato? Because I wasn't comfortable yet. So I was supposed to be upstairs, I think, the second year. But I got too much respect for the game and my own performance to walk in there on fresh software with a HP, figure out later you need the Mac. But it just didn't feel right, and I knew I wasn't going to do what I normally do.
Right.
I elected to go downstairs. Skillz went upstairs.
Right.
That was my second year, because the first year.
That was the second year.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first year, I don't know if it was K Nicem or somebody upstairs, but it was like something just kept going out, and that might have been their first year with Serato.
I don't know. I don't know what happened upstairs that year, but I knew that I wasn't what I wanted to be on it.
Right.
And I wasn't going to go up there, just to have that stage,
right,
and then not be prepared I like to be, and I wasn't ready on the Serato, and after that night though, I said, like I said, I know I could put you in that category where Skillz is, because if Skillz there, Storm's there, you straight, the party straight. You know what I'm saying? I kind of look at Deron One like that too. Like when any of them are DJing, sometimes as a DJ, the party be going, you feel like, man, if I could get on right now, I would do this.
Right.
Right.
I don't sit and think about that.
Hey, Skillz. In a moment. So, Cal J is a very humble guy, right? And
Cal J is a legend, man.
I know, man. Oh, I'm glad you said it, man. So you want to take offense to what I'm about to say. As humble as he is and giving y'all credit, ain't none of y'all better than him.
What you talking about?
I want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, man.
He's very humble.
Yeah,
man. I'm chilling, man. I recognize, everybody got something different to bring. And
I'm just saying, man. Them young boys will try you, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep them in check. That's all I'm saying.
You talking about young boys that try you. So listen, let me tell you. So how it transitioned for me to start to show that I was worthy of holding my own, and this all happened at the ballroom. So you were saying, like, DJs have a spot for so long, they kind of get comfortable. Storm would always come in as a superstar that night, because he was once he got off the air, he walking in and when the party piping hot. I got it ready for him. All he got to do is just jump in the grease and get it popping. That's it.
Right.
So I think by this time I might have been. This probably been like the end of the semester. So I done kind of like built my weight up. As far as my peers and most of the people that was in college at that time, we was all in the same age. So it was kind of like them identifying with somebody that's in their age bracket, but giving them that shit. You know what I'm saying? How I was giving it to them, it kind of like helped. It was a quicker boost, probably than most. And I don't know. I think my name people started talking about me more. And I don't know, like, if DJs, like, this my house. But I don't know if Storm felt like, okay, he a young nigga, I'm gonna have to spank this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
he tried to turn up on you.
You better stay on it.
he tried to, like, cause he said something on the mic, and I caught it. And I was just like, oh, and he started scratching. So my homies looked at me and they smiled.
Like, get him.
I'm like, this thing, I can't do this. Because mind you, when I first got into DJing, I did not want to leave the house until I knew how to scratch and or until I knew how to do body tricks.
Hey, look, man, let me tell you something. Back in the day, dudes would stand around and make you like in order to DJ a party. Mm-hmm. Like first time I went to Winston-Salem State to DJ a party, it's like 1991. I don't know, you know Eagle Man?
No.
You heard Tommy G?
Yeah, Tommy G, my guy. We was on the radio together at Foxy.
Okay, so you got Eagle Man is every bit, at least everything Tommy G is.
Gotcha.
And they had a guy named Spunk. Like the DJs in Winston were like they put on turntable shows while you dancing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I get to Winston-Salem State, and I'm setting up, and everybody just looking like, and we ain't gonna dance until you prove that you know what you're doing on these turntables.
Right.
So before, like, soon as you set up, everybody standing around, their arms crossed, like, what you gonna do? And you had to put on a little bit of a scratch show just to let them know that you're serious.
Right.
So, you know, I just remember having to do that. You don't have to do that anymore, but yeah, Storm will put you on the spot.
Yeah, now he definitely he tried me that night. And you know, the ballroom, you set up on the floor, so you right there in the crowd, and he started scratching, and you know, Storm was like dance a little bit, so he was doing all these dance moves while holding the record. And I know
he had the echo on the mic.
Yeah, he was doing all of that. So, you know, to me as a DJ, I'm like, you're not doing nothing crappy with them sounds. It looks good. It's tricky to the eye. Like I said, I used to watch the DMC tapes and all of this coming into the game. So I was very well versed. Like I said, I was trained to go. So I put on one of them sound effect records, and I put on the Soho house. And I started scratching and transforming and switching hands while I was doing it.
Right.
And I felt, you know how you feel the shift, and it's kind of like everything beside you was like cold.
Right.
I felt it, and it was like a dead stare, like, oh shit. And after that night, it was just kind of like, I'm not opening no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was placed in those, you know what I'm saying, those other parties, especially like around Greensboro. I still ain't touched Raleigh yet. Like I said, my first time touching Raleigh was the Nelly Destiny Child tour. That was my first event in Raleigh at FaZe nightclub. I
kind of just naturally assumed that you came to us in Greensboro from Raleigh.
I did, because I was just told.
I mean, yeah, I thought you already had it locked down, because like I remember like I would talk to Quadri when he first started doing these parties at the Sheraton back in the day. I used to do them early on. Then, you know, he'd be like, we had Skillz, like let's say it was time I couldn't do it or whatever early on. He'd be like, yeah, man, we had Skillz do it. And after, when I got back, like I used to do this thing where, you know, at 10 o'clock, I'm not trying to make everybody dance at 10. 11 o'clock, sometimes people still, you know, so I'm just kind of chilling. 11:30, I'm starting to boost them up. I want the party to be as hard as it can go at 12.
Right.
So I had a schedule. But what I noticed is Quadri started pushing earlier. He's like, come on.
Them lines out the door.
Yeah, he's like, come on, man, let's get this thing. I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to do nothing right now. They just walked in the door. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I think that over time I realized that the energy is changing in the way people are partying. Now that's the next thing I want to talk to you about. Now that you've been in the game this long, you're talking about starting in 98, that's at least an easy 20 off top.
25. It'll be 30 in 2026.
Right. So with all that time in the game, let's talk about some of the changes you've seen. Like first, I want to talk about the change in the way people consume their music after things went digital, and the effect that it, like, you know, for me, it was tough being a guy who's used to records. You have promo copies that come. You're always ahead of the game with your records.
And everybody ain't got it.
Yep. When things shifted to digital, I had to get back in the streets to keep up. I came out of the streets already. Now I'm full-time on the air. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to keep up, you have to be back in the streets, ear to the ground, because DJs can play anything now. You used to be stuck with what was available on the record. Now DJs could play anything, and the music, the variety of music just expanded. I go in the club and I hear DJ playing. He playing something off of a Young Jeezy mixtape that'll never be on wax. You know what I mean? I'm like, golly, man, I got to go buy a damn CDJ now. You know what I'm saying?
And they rapping along.
Right. So how did these new changes, the technology, the digitization and all that, did it affect you? Did it take a little time to adjust from records to what it is?
Nah, the hardest adjustment was from records to Serato. When the CDJ game came in, when the CDs came into full play, you talking about like for me like that early 2000 round. Mm-hmm. By that time, I had dropped out of school, and like 2003, I was on my second or third tour by that time. So I was already out in motion, like in the Atlanta scene was definitely growing into a monster at that time. So it's kind of like I was in the midst of it, so it was kind of like, oh, what's this going on over here? Okay, and then like how you were saying, like cats was playing like the exclusive versions off of mixtapes, and then we move it forward to like 2005, 2006. I moved to Atlanta, so I was in the midst of all of that. So it was like I know where to get these pieces from without the DJ talking on it, the bootleg versions, the white label versions in the record stores, and what forced me to switch to Serato. My record got stolen before I was about to go do a party at Cheap Seats in Greensboro one night.
Oh, come on, man.
Right before me and my team, we went to Bojangles to get something to eat, came back to the hotel, went upstairs to eat. We were talking about in a matter of like 30 to 45 minutes, come back downstairs to the truck, back window busted out.
Oh.
All my crates going to mind you, but at this time I'm living in Atlanta. And I had just gotten good with my guy, Jay Carter, who was, that's the guy that does the One Music Festival. That was our first encounter, but I was on the Kenny Burns imprint at that time when I was in Atlanta. And that Saturday night was going to be my entrance. Well, no, that was like probably my second time playing at Jay Carter's spot, DJing downtown Atlanta. So when my records got stolen, I was crushed.
Man, that story hurt my feelings, man. No.
Listen. Imagine this. You have your debut in Atlanta the very next night.
Oh.
And this was a big party.
Oh.
That was my debut.
So you had to go out and grab Serato right then?
No. I couldn't do the party. I didn't do the party in Greensboro that night. I just stayed there. Me and my team, and we stayed there. We got there next morning. We went back to Atlanta, hit Jay Carter up, told him what happened. And, now mind you, I had doubles and things of that nature of most of the records. But for me, I was also a record collector as well. My cousin was taking me to different flea markets and thrift shops when I first got to Atlanta. So I was picking up a lot of rare stuff. I had like white labels from like Rockefeller, like sent from the label that, like, to this day, certain records you just ain't gonna see.
Hey, trust me, man. I used to drive down there from Greensboro like maybe twice a month, just to record shop in Atlanta. I come back with breaks that nobody else had. You're ahead of the game when you got something nobody else got. Cats be like, what's that? Where you get that? Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was the most hurtful part for me because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna ever get those pieces back. And now, that time, like the Jeezy and all of that started to get played. I had doubles of the Jay-Z, the Def Jam, the important records. But then again, it was kind of like I'm missing a lot of my old school because I had original 12 inches of a lot of the old school records.
Right.
So it was like, dang, I'm going to have to get Serato. And my money wasn't all the way right there. So, my brother helped me out. He's like, yo, I'm going to buy you this Acer laptop. Whatever money you got left, that was the first laptop that I started out on. He was like, whatever left, you can put it towards whatever else you want to do with it. And I went and brought Serato, started working out on Serato. The main thing with Serato was me trusting technology. I didn't trust
it at first either, man. I would carry a crate of records when I took the Serato, just in case.
Listen, I had a case of records that I would take with me. I think I took those with me for like my first 3 to 4 gigs. Then after that, it was lights out after that.
Yeah, when I see you on the elevator, I'm standing there. I got a hand truck with 6 crates.
And he got a
2 turns. He got a backpack.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I was comfortable at that time. I was hella comfortable at that time.
I was like, yo, how you do that?
Yeah, I was hella comfortable at that time.
Yeah, yes, sir. I remember that well. I said, you know what, man? But honestly, man, I just got, and this is the honest guy's truth, I just got comfortable probably 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I say that because it was, I just spent the time recently. Like I used to, when I was on the radio, and and we'll talk about radio too, because, I hear you on these mix shows. But when you're doing mix shows, you're constantly practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you're constantly learning the music too, because the more you hear it, the repetition tells you where, you don't have to think about where you want to get in and out. You know the words, you learn as you play.
Mm-hmm.
And not having a mix show to do kept me from messing with the turntables. So then I finally got back on air after, a couple of years back and started doing mix shows again. I was like, oh, that's what was missing.
Okay.
Because it made me get on the turntables every day with the specific goal of creating something that it has to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and over that time period, I caught up. But I realized that I hadn't been operating at my potential since Serato came out until probably a couple of years ago. And after that, I feel like I'm back now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a while.
Right.
Took a while.
Yeah. My hand was forced at that time. Like I said, like I was rolling in the circle of with the Kenny Burns. Like our studio was right across the street from Outkast Studio, Dungeon. So it was constant traffic coming through there. If they was at Outkast Studio across the street, it was coming down to holler at KB next door after they left there before. Because Kenny had a budding artist at the time, Keys, and I was pretty much A&R him. So it was like I'm a DJ first though,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I need to get acclimated in these, like some of these clubs with the important people here in the parties. And Jay Carter was that first guy to take that chance. Outside of KB, to KB now when they did, this was after Rockefeller broke up. All of them moved to Atlanta, and KB was a VP at Rockefeller right before they broke up. He was over the R&B division, which was over Rel, Nicole Ray, and Alan Anthony. And I was DJing for Rel at that time when he dropped Real Love, which right when Rockefeller broke up, because he was about to take off. And he was about to hit a 40 city tour, and then everything just blew up. So when they moved to Atlanta, it was like everybody that was already on my team was like, we in Atlanta, because everybody that was on the Rockefeller team is down there now. So KB got his own label. We going down there to work for that. So that was kind of like how I kind of maneuvered into the Atlanta scene. And KB's first event was an event, I think it was a Common's birthday party, and Kanye was hosting it. And me and Kanye had a tight relationship. Then we met way back in like 2002, 2003 in Raleigh, doing I can't think of the music summit that they used to have. Mad Wax. DJ Mad.
It was the North Carolina. It was they had it in Durham, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The North Carolina Music Summit or something like that.
Something like that.
I remember that. It was at the Durham Marriott.
Yep, that's what me and Kanye met, and we ended up doing the College Dropout mixtape before the album. So all of this was like right after I dropped out of school, but I'm just kind of giving you a backstory of how that transition from North Carolina to Atlanta, and like I was kind of like, my hand was forced to be switched.
Where's that music, man? Where's that music?
Oh, I still got it.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. I got that. I got the original, the CD from the drops. Like he was doing drops talking about Brothers 3. If you've been to Durham, you know about Brothers 3. He said,
not Brothers 3. Stop playing.
Yeah, I got the whole drop script, everything. Like, and we did that mixtape right there in Raleigh. But so my first major party in Atlanta was Common's birthday party, and it was hosted by Kanye, and I had to use Serato that night. But that was a part of my adaptation, me adjusting quick, because I didn't have the room to say, well, I'm gonna sit here in the studio and figure it out. I'm in the studio with an artist half of the day, and then when I come home at night, or whenever I get in, it's DJ practice time, and then I'm back on the road doing Club 9 in Greensboro every Thursday with College Night with Quadri. Right. So that was my routine, you know. So I had to adjust quick, and like I said, like after my stuff got stolen, I probably sat still for like a month. I don't think I did no gigs for probably like a month and a half. Once I got Serato, and once I was like, okay, I'm good enough to go. I think the very first party that I did was First Fridays in Raleigh with Serato, but I had that extra case of records with me for, you know, just a level of comfortability. Yeah, and just to feel, you know, safe.
Yeah, what I realized, the key to Serato's success is really getting your cue points up. I didn't know that at the time because I've been dealing with records. And I'm like, you know, cue point for me is look at the record. I know where, you know, I know where in the groove the word that I want or the place that I want is.
Right.
So, you know, it took me, I was like, oh, wow, you just said it. But then you got 6,000 songs.
That's the major problem. I know a lot of DJs, even still to this day, they struggle with it. But I'll like DJs will see my setup and they'd be like, oh, why your songs look like they're in line or whatever. My crates are set up the same way I had my record crate set up.
I did that too, but I had to create a sub-filing system to make it work like my crates, because I had my crates set up by tempo.
You creating them in Serato?
Yeah, so what I did, like...
What you had to do, presets?
No, I used the comment section to create the areas that used to be in my crates. So, like, I used to have, like, let's say I'm going to the 90s. Well, in my crates, the 90s was set up so everything from 90 beats to 100 beats, maybe 105 beats a minute is in one section, alphabetized. How can I get it to do that in Serato? I use the comment section. So every time I put a song, right, when I put a song in, if it's 90 beats a minute, then for me that's a 4. So start with the number 4. The second thing, is it from the 80s and 90s, 2000s? So if it's 1990s, 4, 1990s. Now that automatically, when I go into my crate, everything that's 90 to 100 beats a minute from the 90s is going to show alphabetically based on what I put in the comment section. And it's just like my crates were.
You kind of did the same thing I did. I just did mine on my external hard drive that way. So I created my folders on my hard drive, external hard drive,
right?
Exactly how I want my crates to look in Serato. So when I clicked and dragged and created a folder, my folder from the hard drive showed up in numerical order. Because I used to play in sets, like my records, and it made it easy for me to bounce around if I wanted to get out of something. I knew where this is at. I never did the alphabetical order because for me, how I used to play, it was like I can jump from one thing to the other. So it's not, if I know like all my Rockefeller records are here, all my DMX, all my Buster, all my Marys, all my SWVs, Nas, I'm in and out because I know exactly where these joints are at. But alphabetically, it's like it just never panned out for me. So for my Serato, I just set my stuff up the same exact way. So it kind of works the same, and like, you know, it definitely alleviated the, like you said 6,000, I'm gonna say 600,000 songs. Not to say, I'm just saying that hypothetically speaking,
right?
It alleviated the having how they call it now, the laptop face.
Right, in the laptop man.
Because you got so much music and your mind is gonna go blank. Like, man, I just forgot what I was looking for.
But you know, the more I DJ, the less laptop face I get. But if I take too long of a break, you know, and that's something that I used not to ever take a break. Right. But now I might go strong. Like I'm in a period right now where, I'm going strong every weekend, but who knows what happened in January, February. Maybe February, you know, I see a break in February and then picks back up in March.
Right.
When I take that break and come back, sometimes it takes just the amount of time that you were gone for the song that used to work so well, don't work so well no more. And you got to be out there every weekend. But the more, if you're out there all the time, like I tell anybody, if I DJ 3 weekends in a row, I can DJ whatever you send me to with my eyes closed. I don't even have to think about it no more.
But don't social media help?
No, social media don't help me at all.
Yeah,
Because nobody ever posts anything except for the best part of the night. And so it's only going to be
right.
1 or 10 songs. It's going to be in everybody's post.
Mm-hmm. And Skillz, I heard you mention a minute ago about external hard drives. What are you using the cloud now? I know you're not still walking around with external hard drives.
Absolutely, I am. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hey,
Okay.
Right on.
Like I keep it as a backup, but I was able to put my put a 1 terabyte inside my laptop, but I definitely still carry that external. Once again, I don't trust technology. It's working good for me, but I do not trust it.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard some horror stories. I need to do another backup soon. But
You back up. That's why Biggie said, I got lawyers watching lawyers, so I don't go broke.
Right on, boy.
Better know it. Say that.
And
Say it again.
something else I heard you mention over and over is about your team. And because our podcast looks to educate our listeners too. And it seems like you are a success story. And the reason why I say that is because we did an episode where we talked about the mainstream level of success is not always the success that someone can have from a career. Like we talked about artists, somebody might start out as an artist and turn to other ways of making money in music. So I was thinking about when you kept saying team. I think that's a great word, and I would like you to explain that. And when I say explain it, I mean, like, how did you know? Because nowadays everybody say, hey, well, I went and bought the software so I could record myself. I could record myself on my phone. That's somebody with the I mentality. But the one common thing that I see from most successful people is they always use that team word. So I want you to talk about your team a little bit and tell how you recognize the players and how they play their roles.
Yeah, how you delegate their responsibilities too.
Right.
Well, I mean, once again, like I said earlier, it's when I started.
Right, you started like this.
I started like that. Like my bro Will, he had the money. He was moving around in the street, so he had the money. He had the business.
I knew it was some dope in the story somewhere. I knew it. And I know you from South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I know what goes on down south. Spent a lot of time in Orangeburg County on them dirt roads.
Yeah, he like, man, he from Florence, man.
Yeah.
Listen, yo,
Absolutely.
He is nowhere in the world that he's not around me at all. I just don't. It was definitely around.
Because we did a whole show. We had a whole show talk about the impact of the drug game on the hip hop game, man.
Yes.
And we came to a conclusion that, man, none of us are able to do all of this without, at some point, you got some homies or somebody that has some street money that recognize what you could do and invest it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it like this. Without the Dope Boys, a lot of these DJs wouldn't be who they were. Because they bigged them up and hyped them up. They gave them their fame.
Hey,
they gave them their platform.
Thank you for saying this. Look, that is exactly what we said.
They ran the clubs. The chicks followed the money in the look.
And
like,
listen, man,
that's what they was on.
It was this club called M City in Greensboro, and this cat used to come just sit down behind me. He would sit down behind me and roll up L's the whole time. Like, so you know he was somebody. He could come to the club, sit in the DJ booth, and roll L's, and just sit there and be like, man, I just love listen to you DJ, man. This dude brought a SP1200 by the house, a mixed board, just 2 turns. He just dropping stuff off.
Well, the statute of limitation up, so you.
Hey, I didn't say he did anything wrong to get it, but all I'm saying, but he did get locked up.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like that was a huge boost though. Like this dude, I needed everything that he brought to the table, and it changed. Like, you know, you gotta understand, like to DJ, we're doing everything we can. We're paying the bills, keeping up with the records and the equipment. But when somebody come and donate and help out, man, it's huge. It makes all the difference in the world. Like I never would have had access to an SP1200 at my house if he had stepped up and just dropped one off like it was nothing.
You said they locked up all the dope boys. That's why everybody signing a 360 deal.
That's exactly why why would you sign your life away?
That's real, man. Like I said, I came up into that team mentality. Like I said, my guy Will, he was the money and the business brains behind it and could see things that I like. He was 2 years older than me and Sophie. Me and Sophie was the same age, but she was a female. So me and her kind of like had the same vision, but she played her own role from a marketing standpoint and carried her own weight as well too. So that was just from being business partners. You know what I'm saying? And both of them are still entrepreneurs to this day. Will owns his own. He's running his family's barbershop back in Florence, Thompson Barber College. They got 3 barbershops, and Sophie, she runs her own hair salon. And they've all been entrepreneurs ever since then. So then when I got with B. Lord, it was the same thing. It was kind of like understanding the power of having a solid team around you. Like, if you want to go far, take people along with you. If you want whatever you're doing to be short-lived, go by yourself because you're going to burn yourself out eventually. And I've always learned that, and I've always stuck, to that. And even now, it's kind of like, it's just understanding where you at. Because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I need a manager. I need a manager." What are they managing? What do you have to manage? Have you built anything up to where they got something to market and they can walk and put this on the table and say, "Hey, I have this DJ, this talent." Because nowadays everybody's a DJ, and you got social media. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you can build your own name up and you got to do the work. And that's the thing. Social media makes it to where nobody wants to do the work. Everybody thinks it's so easy. And it's kind of like you're going to be a fly-by-night guy and you're going to be wondering why. And I see so many people crash out and burn so fast. And it's kind of like they don't get it. And it's just like, it's a business. Yep. It's a business at the beginning and at the end of the day. It's a business. And until you get to the point to where you're about your business, you're going to have those moments to where you're going to be lost. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can be, and everybody's, everybody's not a business person. Everybody's not an admin person. Everybody don't know, the legalities and the legal aspects of the game. Like everybody don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if you get you a team,
right,
you can cover those bases. And you ain't losing money. You just you're working smart. And a lot of people stray away from a lot of that because they feel, well, if I got to pay extra people, that means I'm losing money. No, you're putting yourself in a position to collect more checks because you're going to put yourself in more opportunities than just being at one place at one time. Now you're going to be able to be 3 to 4 different places because everybody around you is constantly working and securing these deals. So now the only thing you got to do is concentrate on is moving and showing up and doing what doing what these people know you're supposed to do. That's it.
That's it.
But until you get about your business, you're not gonna get to that point because you're stuck on me, I. But when you get that team makes those things easier for you. It's like that your team builds a fort around you.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that it's almost like you're the cash cow. And if the cash cow can't get booked or people don't want to see the cash cow, we don't make no money.
Right.
Nobody eats. So everybody's messed up in the game. So what do you got to do? From a business perspective, you get somebody that's a business mind. Hey, y'all got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Do you see the end goal? Do you see what I'm trying to do? Do you see what's going on here? Yeah, I can take that and I can elevate that. Bet. Boom. That's what you do. Who's going to get on marketing? Boom. Okay, somebody's on marketing. It's all of those things because everybody has a role to play, but I don't think everybody thinks like that.
No, definitely not.
And a lot of DJs are not at that partner where they, a lot of DJs don't really need it nowadays. Only if you just got a lot of big business and a lot of if you got a lot going on, I feel like, okay, that's some organization and structure that everybody needs, especially when you got a lot going on. and in some cases, the money don't require that because, by the time you pay management, you pay all these people,
right,
you walking away with nothing. So, it's kind of like a thing of you got to nail down and really get to the business aspect of handling business, handle your business. And you said another thing too, that, like a lot of people, they want to get in the industry and they don't understand that a lot of the money that's being made in this industry is behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people this. I want to be a DJ or producer. Man, I want to be a rapper, especially with the artist and the rapper and the singing. I'll be like, how serious are you? And they be like, I'm pretty serious. How nice is your pen game? Oh, I'm pretty nice with writing and this, that, and the third. If you that nice, look into scoring movies and TV shows. They make those all the time. You ain't got to worry about being on Front Street in front of a camera to be the superstar. Because I was telling people this probably like right before COVID. I'm like, this isn't mid 2000s anymore.
right.
Put your hustle up. People need scripts. People need scores for TV shows, Sports Center, even for producers. I'm like, they cut checks for that, right?
Man, we had a dude
I
on.
ain't know that.
We had a dude on about 2-3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. He has a whole sync licensing company.
Right.
He was explaining how to get in on that for producers and whatnot. And like me personally, I'm a dude like I totally dropped the ball on the business end when I was at my peak.
Right.
Because I was a one man show, and I've never had a team.
Yeah.
And right now, DL is the closest thing I've ever had to a team. You know what I mean?
Ain't no time like the present.
Right,
the
right.
thing about you, Cap, you already got skin in the game. So it ain't really like you got to learn something new. You just got to adjust to the times and apply that. But then with you having a partner, a part of your team now, it ain't just you. It's less that you got to think about.
Right. And that's real. Like we've had conversations before, and because like me, I'm whipping up the contract, sending it out, you sign, I do all the business.
Right.
And sometimes I'll be talking to DL like, yo.
Like recently when
like
when
not
it
too
was
long
time.
not too long ago it was time
for a contract, like things changed at the last minute. And like I told Kel, I said I feel like you shouldn't have to deal with that because
absolutely
that's the point of the team. And Skillz, so when we was talking about the team and you was talking about everybody getting paid, I kind of Googled your net worth. And is it true that you're worth $1.2 million?
Shit, I wish. They might be talking about my bro, Mad Skillz, the rapper.
I just had to throw that out there to see how you respond. But
if that was the case, I might be talking to me while I'm on a helicopter somewhere. I ain't gonna say a lot to you.
But it's your only job, right? DJing.
Yeah, this is it. Like I said, this, doing radio, and like I said, I do my own events. So, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
That's why you're a success story.
Hey, real quick, y'all, mix shows. I just got to say, man, this is like Skillz on the Mix, my favorite mix show. Foxy on the weekends.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it because I could tell when I'm listening, like it's the perfect avenue for a dude who has spent time during the era that you spent, and now you just get like, man, I remember one night I was listening, you dropped that Tony Thompson, Love. And I was just like, man, like the record, I love that song, but you just don't get to hear it, and most DJs not even gonna know that song. So he pulled that out, put that in the mix. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Nah, that was the feeling that I used to listen to radio and listen to my cousin play back in the day. That was the feeling I would always get. I'd be like, I was listening to the radio because it was songs that he would play that I know that only he was going to play.
Right.
Other DJs wasn't going to play them. So I always felt like that was the reason for mix shows.
That's what I always wanted to bring.
All the way up to now, that was the reason for for a mix show. Like the reason for mix show ain't to play what's already in rotation. The
Right.
reason for a mix show is you might throw one or two of those records in, but other than that, you playing the B-side records or the B-side of the single that came out. Then you hitting a couple of album cuts. Then you're gonna bring us back and hit us with a hit, and then you mixing it all up. But it's not like it sounds like I'm listening just to regular rotation. I never thought that was the purpose of mix shows. So like my whole approach to mix show was just to always approach it like that. I even walked away from a radio station because they were trying to tell me to switch my style. And I was just like, I'm not even doing this for the money. I'm doing this because the people that are hitting me are enjoying it.
They're enjoying it. Leave it alone.
Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like,
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We had Brian Douglas, that was my program director at 102 Jams. We had him on the show. And I remember, and we had K Nice on. Now, when I got to Greensboro, K Nice is on 102 Jams with Brian Douglas. And they were, Brian was thinking about getting K to try to go more rhythmic. At the time, Jams was a true rhythmic station, but they played urban music. So they were trying to get him to get back into the rhythmic side of things, which at the time, let me see, Young MC, folks like that.
Right.
And they said the consultant came in and said, well, according to the ratings, everything's fine. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was the quote back then in the early 90s. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he let K Nice cook, and look what came of it.
And that takes me back to our conversation earlier, because he said something that I thought was very important. He's not doing it for the money. So you're doing it for the love, and only rich people talk about that. So let's talk about this 1.2 million. So what? You got to invest it. So what? It's not liquid. What's going on?
Doing it for the love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness!
Just because we look to educate our people and inspire our people, So what you doing with the money?
you just gotta put the money in the right places. That's
okay.
it.
Hey, well, let me pick your brain about the clubs. All right, we've been in the clubs, and we've seen. I know I've seen people's attention span change, and sometimes I wonder, did the digital age have a little something to do with that? Because, like I said, at one time we were limited to what was available on wax. And during that time, I'll admit, I let songs play a little bit longer. If you come from the cutting and scratching era, you might cut up the intro of a song for a little while before you even get into it, because people dug it. They groove to the beat before the rappers start rapping.
Right.
Now, people will take a portion and you can move on. Does that which style did you prefer? Because now, when you're DJing with people for people with shorter attention spans today, like, you're working. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm watching, like, y'all Skillz DJing. You're not gonna come up to them, talk, and get no selfie or all that. It's no time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it's time for the next song all the time.
All the time. I started off like that. With vinyl.
Yeah, and see, you started that way, but when you started, that's not how I started.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I started in the era where you spent a little more time with songs, which is probably why that era waited till a little bit later to get everything going.
Right. And that was in the early 70s, right?
Late 80s, man. Come on now.
Oh, my bad.
Late 80s.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, now it took me a while to adjust to that too. Mm-hmm. Being more rapid fire DJ, because I come from a different era.
Yeah, I was doing that. I mean, like I said, my cousins was DJing like that. They were all, for the most part, they looked up to Kid Capri. They just made it into their own. And, for me to be around them, I think my first time seeing Kid Capri was maybe 96, 97, when he came to my city. This is when he had, whenever the soundtrack to the Streets was about to come out, I know he had the rap busted in at the time. I think this was like 97. He came to my city, and that was my first time seeing him live. But prior to him, I had B Lord that I can be sitting right there in his crib.
Right. So that's the way he played too. Week. Just hit you.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, he DJ'd at high school parties. We had a teen club in the city, the skating ring. All the DJs in the city was DJing like the sets were moving. It was never stagnant. So if you could do that with vinyl, I'm 5 times faster with Serato once I got comfortable. And now it's, like, and even then being in Atlanta during that 2005, the 2011 era, that was the trap era, so trap records is moving.
I found it easier. Go ahead.
Now, for me, it was easy it wasn't never like a drop off. So like, I think your question earlier, you were saying, people with the shorter attention spans and, opposed to letting the records breathe. It's kind of like, that was kind of like how I started. And I think you were saying, does you think it affect the clubs a little bit? I think it's 2 parts. It's DJs that don't know how to move the crowd and create a vibe, but they looking for the response off of one song. Mm-hmm. That's the difference, I think, from the crowd enjoying club life and enjoying parties. Not to say like how they used to, because every era is different. But people always say, "Oh, people don't dance." It's a cliche thing now, and I'd be like, "Man, not in my bit."
Yeah, like, I see people dance. People
like,
dance.
What's going on at your joint? Yeah, but I'm like, people still dance. Like they're dancing trap music, shit. Like I hear what you say, but but I know what it is. Mm-hmm. Is you're going for that one record to get that one response, and then you want to go.
I listened to your mix show. I listened to your mix show, and I told you, I said, it's a vibe.
It's all about, man. It's a vibe and experience, and that's what people want to feel.
Right.
And I think the thing about it is a lot of DJs don't know how to create that because they're not that well versed into DJing.
And the music, you need to know. You need to know music.
They playlist. You got to know how playlist artists.
Like, and you got to know how to make people feel. I always tell people this. Before I was a DJ, I was a fan of hip hop. Mm-hmm. Before I even thought about DJing, so I was attending the skating rings on the first and third Sundays during the summer times when I was out of school. I was going to the Magic Attic in Myrtle Beach once I got of age to see Genuine, Maya, all of these artists down in Myrtle Beach. I was a fan of hip hop. Like I snuck backstage to the Biggie concert in '94 when he came to my city. It was Biggie, Mobb Deep, Nas, Keith Murray.
And Tracy
this is when they all was popping. Tracy, all of these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I know how these records made people feel then. Not just the singles, but even that's why you would hear me play a song like a Tony Thompson and shit like that, because those records they had a feel to them. It made people feel a kind of way. So if you hear me play a record now, people are like, why the hell are you playing this? Man, because this made people feel a kind of way. It's about a vibe. I ain't looking for your response off this one record. This record is a part of these other 10 records that I'm building up to this one big record where you're going to lose your fucking mind. Right. It's about the vibe and the experience. And I think that part is what kind of, it's what's missing in the nightlife portion of nightlife between the DJs and the crowd, because the crowd want it, but a lot of the DJs can't give it because they're not that well versed in their music.
Hey, you know what? I think that's one thing that you hit on. I would say at this point where I am right now, that would be probably my biggest strength, is that if you pick any song from any era, at this point, I have been in the club playing that record. Probably when it came out. I remember when it went soft. I remember when it came back hard. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so you gotta. Well, you know. Yeah. I remember when the record was not as effective, and then it got effective
I like
again.
Those words better.
But
it was
but if you were there and you still doing it, you have that firsthand knowledge to draw from. So it's certain stuff, like let's take like a DJ who wasn't DJing in the 90s, like, you know, in essence, you will never find.
Right.
You would never find
A DJ who wasn't really there during that time period, probably they not gonna know that record.
Right.
That record used to get the club jumping.
Right. I just pulled it out like at one of the last gigs I did. I was like, let me drop this. And then when you hit that, it's like, oh yeah. See, now I'm remembering being at the Bears Den or wherever back in the day. It's like, okay, you got this one, then we got Quiet Storm, then we got that break beat that goes with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got so many, it all starts to come back. And only a DJ who's been around for a while can draw on that. And you can tell who was there and who can. You know, like when you listen, it's like there's certain songs that every DJ, any DJ, you just give them some music, you're going to hear a certain song.
Right.
You're going to hear Wipe Me Down, Too Short.
The regular stuff.
Right. You're going to hear all that no matter who you get. But when you see what they're doing around it, you get a good idea for how long that person, you know, where they DJing when this came out, or where they paying attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, really, that's why we brought you on, because I know you've been paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Always been a student of the game. I ain't never stopped. Like being around Doug, that's kind of like one of the things that he pushes and he emphasizes. Never stop being a student of the game. And he'll say, he's like, man, I'm a legend, you know, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I'm never too much of a legend where I can't learn from you either.
Right.
So it's kind of like when we go out in the road and do our thing, it's kind of like an old school, new school vibe, because we both learning something from each other, and it's all off the fly, not rehearsed, you know, but it's, never. Once you get to the point where you got it all figured out, then it's kind of like, all right, what is it next for you to do? Since you got it all figured out, because it's always something new to learn.
Right.
Things is happening around the world every day. Music is always changing. There's always a new way you can, you know, learn to bring a record in, and a new way that you can do a transition. It's always something new.
Hey, don't you love when you get out of town and you see a DJ play something you never heard before and the crowd go crazy?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? I'm taking that back home. I'm taking that back home.
I've been a sucker for that for years.
Yeah, man.
That's what helped me, like, get my, like, make my crates even deeper. Like, even back in the day, like, I would listen to certain records, and they might have been records that I would have. We talking about when I was actually carrying vinyl. It was records that I would have, but I probably didn't carry with me because
you didn't know.
No need. But yeah, you just didn't know. And then when you get a certain response, and just because it worked in one area, don't mean it's gonna work in the next. But it was like, oh, okay, people are vibing to this record like this. But it might only be a portion of the record, and I got to play it like a break. But I know I can play a part of this record and get a response, you know?
Right.
So this is something that I ask most folks from North Carolina that have reached any level of success that we have on the show. And I'm asking you because you're from South Carolina. Like, Cap and I talked about Angie Stone being from South Carolina.
South Carolina.
And I know Jamal of Illegal is from South Carolina. And, of course, because I'm a connoisseur of hip-hop, I know Nick Grant, Blind Fury, and a couple other people that are, and even Jeezy, born.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Kane was born in South Carolina, wasn't he?
Right. But my question is, why haven't more artists from South Carolina reached the stardom, and why doesn't South Carolina have a representative in hip hop?
Man, you better start sleeping on Twin Height.
It's always been a difficult thing for South Carolina to root for South Carolina when the world is rooting for South Carolina. Same problem North Carolina has.
Right.
I've seen it on a small scale. I've seen it on a large scale. That's the only thing that has always and will always hold the Carolinas back from reaching a large magnitude. It's almost like the crabs in the barrel mentality. They want to see you win, but you at home. So they don't never want to see you doing better than them.
Right.
But if the world co-signs you,
Right.
Then it might be okay. It might be okay then. But it's not just yo, they dope. Let's get behind them and rally behind them. Nah, it's never been that. It's man, I know Brian.
Right.
Man, I see him every Saturday. He be at the store every week. That's what you gonna get. You ain't gonna get he got a dope. You never see that rallying behind an artist, and it's crazy because when I first moved to Atlanta, when Jay Carter first met me, he heard a mixtape that I did.
Uh-huh.
And the mixtape that I did, it was like a mixture of like current like hip hop, underground hip hop samples, old school. It was like just a vibey, chill type mixtape. And he just like, man, where you from? I'm like, I'm from South Carolina. He's like, man, people from South Carolina don't know about, or just people from the Carolinas in general don't know about this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, yo, I'm different. And there's a lot of people in the Carolinas that's like me. So we were sitting down having more dialogue, and then another partner had came in the room, and we was talking about. I think I was talking about how could I get on with an artist from Atlanta, and this was like not 2006 when I'm down there, because I'm like, I'm down here. I'm gonna maximize this opportunity down here. And he was telling me that he was like, you need to get with an artist that's popping out of your area that's dope and ride the wave with him. He said, man, that's hard to do. And he was just like, well, the thing, and he was in Atlanta at the time. He said, the thing that I noticed about the Carolinas, he said, y'all don't rally behind y'all people. He was the first person I heard say it that wasn't living there, but I had already thought
seen it. You had already seen it.
But right, I had already seen it in the whole nine. So if a person in the industry is saying that, one person, imagine what everybody else in the industry is already saying and what they already know.
Right.
Hey.
But you can't convince them to see what it is that they're saying or even grasp that conversation. Because they are where they are. One thing about South Carolina, when you can reach, when you're going to reach your peak.
Yeah, it's time to go.
And for me, it was kind of like the same thing. Like I saw it. I was like, man, if I want to get on bigger stages, I can't stay here. Because I said, I'm going to be in these same clubs every week. And that's not what I want for myself. I'm like, I want to be a tour traveling DJ. And I can't do that. And
then you got a producer, and I like how they coined the phrase of pain music. And pain music is what Rod Wave does.
Right.
And Rod Wave may have not, I'm not going to say may not have had the success without this producer, but he had a lot of success because of this producer. TNT from Sumter, South Carolina. But if you don't, his name is TNT. Right.
Okay, I never heard of him either.
Yeah, he's real reserved and a quiet guy, but
got you.
Like the representation of South Carolina, like the people that I named, I don't remember any of them giving credit to South Carolina as being the home front.
And they're not. And that hurts. That hurts the state. Because people don't feel like they can come back and rep it proud. Like that's one thing I've always been gun-ho on. Like people always say, where you from? From Florence. I live in Charlotte. Been living in Charlotte almost now for 10 years now plus.
Right.
Even when I moved to Atlanta, where you from? I ain't say Raleigh. Even I lived in Raleigh for 5 to 6 years prior to. I'm from Florence. You from Florence, South Carolina?
Right.
Yeah, I'm proud to be where I'm from. Like because to me, South Carolina is the state of the hustlers.
Yes.
Period.
Hey,
and I when I say hustle,
you ain't lying.
Hustle in every aspect, from legal to illegal, like
everything.
We know how to go out and get it and make it happen. We ain't afraid of work.
Right.
Like we not afraid of work. Like we gonna go out and do what we gotta do to make things happen, to make sure things are in place for us. So, that's like a badge of honor, because it's kind of like, if I'm from South Carolina, you already know what I'm about. You might not know what I know, but you know what I'm about, which means I'm gonna do the work and I'm a go-getter.
Right.
Now, after that, you ask questions, you're gonna find out what I know. That's going to push this conversation along a little bit further,
you also create a mystique for your place too, because like I'm from Tarboro. I leave Tarboro, I say, yo, I'm from Tarboro. I'm not saying, Rocky Mount, Raleigh, Greensboro, wherever I go next, I make sure I say Tarboro because there are other people coming from Tarboro.
Right.
And when they get here, Like, you know, like when I got to Greensboro and Winston-Salem, people from Tarboro had already made a name for the city. So I could just say, hey, you know, such.
Right.
And I figured I'm going to do the same thing. When Kwaji get here, he say he from Tarboro. Oh, capital J for Tarboro.
Right. I thought y'all was from Rocky Mount.
Yeah, nah. I'm from Tarboro, homeboy. But with all that being said, you got to
the boot. The boot.
The boot. I ain't never called the boot.
Nah,
what's that? The
bucket.
deer know a little bit more about that.
The bucket.
Yeah, that's Tarboro.
Yeah, that's.
I'm from Princeville, across the river.
Oh yeah, so you already know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, when you got to be proud of where you from, because I always use the example. Like, look, Dr. Dre and them didn't come out saying we're from L.A.
No.
They said we're from Compton.
Right.
And if you did not live in L.A., we didn't know anything about Compton. But guess what happened after that? We got DJ Quick, Bud Law. You get all these other people from Compton, NCA,
Right.
because NWA put it on the map.
Right.
And I wanted to do that for where I'm from. You did that for South Carolina. Like right now, somebody will hear this and they say, South Carolina.
Damn, I ain't know where that nigga was
Florence.
from.
Right. And then it's like, okay, Florence.
Right.
And in their mind, for whoever hears, they change their perception just a little bit.
Right.
Of where you're from. And that's, that's what you're trying to do. People don't leave town and don't that's how you give back. You represent where you from well.
Right.
Well, I tell you this, Florence wasn't really known for, from a musical side outside of like Trey Lorenz. Sings back up from Mariah.
Trey Lorenz from South Carolina too?
Went to the same church. Our parents are friends.
Wow.
Me and his brother was a year apart.
He had a little run.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he was more so known for his, background contributions to Mariah, especially on the I'll Be There joint when she did the live performance. That was sometime in the 90s. But, you talking about Harry Carson, talking about Clayton Holmes, Reggie Sanders, Orlando Hudson, Jolette Law. These are all sports figures. Lawrence Simmons that played for the Steelers. All these people from right there in Florence. That's more so Florence's.
Hey, y'all got your boy now too. Golly, who's that? Repping South Carolina right now. God. Oh no, not your boy, your girl, Coco Jones. Coco Jones. I'm sorry.
Coco Jones.
Coco Jones.
Yeah.
Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Trick Daddy.
Is Joe Budden from South Carolina?
Man, he stayed talking about his family in South Carolina.
I think he got family in. I think he got family in something. John Morant from down there and something. Ray Allen.
Charlamagne from
down there in Charleston.
Yeah, Charlamagne is another example of that South Carolina hustler mentality. He definitely powered his way on through the game.
To the heart.
Yeah.
And cocaine to him through. Drugs, man. I'm telling you, man. That ain't a palm tree. That's a coca leaf. I respect South Carolina so much because I understand the significance of the history of South Carolina.
Right.
With the Geechee.
And that's the part.
And
that's why my family's from the low country down there. So
see what I mean? I heard you say that low country.
Yeah.
I heard that shit come out.
Yeah.
That's why I hold South Carolina in such admiration because of that the cultural part of it, the history.
Yeah,
I'm big on that.
History, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, look, we getting to that point where we're gonna have to wind this thing up in a little bit. But
for sure.
Tell us everywhere that you're on. Because I know I was in Charleston one time. I think I heard you on the air down there.
Nah, that was 99.
That was Star.
7 and Star. Yeah, Star 99.7.
But Jay, if he do all that, then he got to break down to 1.2 million. That he keeps denying.
No, we're gonna tell people where to get a dose of this mix show first. You know what I'm saying?
We listening.
You know what I'm saying? You keep the network a secret for now.
No, go ahead and break it down.
I'm only on one station now. That's Fox 107, 103 in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you can stream that live worldwide on foxandnc.com every Friday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Welcome to the weekend.
Yeah, it's good stuff, y'all. If you come up in this era, man, trust me, listen, you'll enjoy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'll definitely enjoy it. What else you got? Anything else you got going on you want to plug right quick?
Not man, just follow me on Instagram at Skillz the DJ, Skillz with a Z, the DJ on everything. SkillsTheDJ.com. Everything is at Skillz the DJ, Skillz with a Z, the DJ. Got a couple of tours I'm about to put together next year. It's the work is still working, man. The work is still moving. So, they say when you've got quality products, you can always have motion. So the motion is still motioning. So that's what we're doing.
He's still making drug references. You better pay attention there. I'm telling you.
The motion is still in motion. So just follow and stay in the loop, because it's always something constantly. I always got something constantly going on, for sure. So this is what I signed up for. What a lot of us signed up for, and I don't see no other way. So this is it. So we, maximize all opportunities and make sure we prepared, so we ain't got to get ready when the opportunities present themselves. So,
all right. Hey, I got one more question for you. One of the other things that slowed me down was I got married, had a couple of kids, and I honestly spent a little less time
with the hoes
on the weekend. With the hoes. Not saying that every time I DJ I'm with hoes. I'm just saying I spend a little less time out there for a period, just so I wouldn't be out there all the time.
Right.
Have you dealing with relationship issues right now, or you just keeping it single you can work like you want to?
It's single right now. I'm gonna tell you this. I learned a valuable lesson. I was in a relationship when I moved from Atlanta to Charlotte, and I was in a situation to where I could have DJed for a particular celebrity, R&B singer at the time, and I kind of turned it down because of being in a relationship and wanted to be present. Had another opportunity that came a year and a half right after that. Got the call to DJ for this mega female rapper right now. She was looking for a DJ. She needed a DJ to go on tour. I was a guy that got called, was trying to have a conversation. And, I just didn't feel that the conversation wasn't received, or the excitement of,
she would hate.
I'm happy for you to have this opportunity. It wasn't just that. It wasn't that feel. And I know what it. When people they're not in this side of the game, they don't kind of understand the ins and outs and things of that nature. So it's all good now. But I look back on that, and I always tell people, like, yo, when you get into this thing, I don't care if you're married or not, make sure you understand what it is that you need to be doing for yourself.
Damn.
Because these opportunities may or may not come back around.
Right.
Fortunate enough for me, I was able to bounce back and have bigger situations come about. And I always tell people, like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because when other people would have faded out, or they would have just completely gave up and quit, if those opportunities wouldn't have went how they wanted them to go, I just brushed it off and just made ends meet. Still DJing, maybe not traveling as much, stayed local, but I still made the most out of being local. And never did play it as something small. And then when opportunities came back around the second time, it was way bigger. And by this time, I wasn't in a relationship. So it wasn't a thought process, but at the same time, I was able to process the importance of, this ain't just a hobby. This is your life. This is your career. This is how you plan to feed a family, or feed yourself, or whoever the case may be one day. So it's like, you got to take this thing seriously. And my bounce back was being able to DJ for the Charlotte Hornets starting in 2016. When me and Dougie Fresh linked up, traveled the world, and I was moving dolo outside of that, just doing my own thing, traveling international and everything more. So, it was just a thing for me to put into perspective. I'm not gonna just kind of tell everybody that, like, sometimes you on a journey for a reason, because it's your journey and everybody can't go. I don't care how much you want them to go, but sometimes it's not for them. And if they can't understand that, then it's like, okay, you got to make a decision for yourself, what's important for you and what you want to do. And, and I understand, like, we got kids and things of that nature. That changes the ball game. Like, because I don't have kids, so I always tell people, like, you know, and my reason for not having kids is pro-choice. You know, I love what I do, but I know when I have kids, I'm from South Carolina, so I want to be present. I want to be there. There's not going to be a lot of missed days, and you know, my schedule is going to have to alter a great deal. You know, because I want to be present for that, and you know, so. Hey, for a lot of people, it's different strokes, different folks, but you know, I think it's just, you know, you really got to take a lot of things and just put it into perspective, you know.
Hey, having been there, I would say, you know, I got married voluntarily, but going in, I knew, like you said, like having kids and stuff, I'm gonna want the time that I put into my craft, I'm gonna put into my family. And knowing that going in, you know, I was willing to accept what came with it.
Right,
but
and that's the thing, and that's the main thing. Are you willing to accept what comes with it? And a lot of people, I think they don't know what comes with it. They thinking, oh, I'm gonna still be able to do this. Nah, bro, you might want to. You might want to go back and reevaluate this because this is going to change. This could possibly change, and if it changes, are you okay with that?
Right,
the non-negotiables.
I heard while you were talking a minute ago, I heard that TK and Cash, I had to leave that hoe alone to come up on the check. You know what I'm saying? And we got an episode where we talk about choices and making choices, you know, whether you want to pursue your dream or whether you want to do the family or whatever else outside of that. You know, like at what point, and I know you kind of touched on it right then, but how did you know that you wanted to choose that over that?
I was out of the situation. Because we ended up, you know, parting ways, but it was after the fact when I started to think about what I gave up, because I gave up a lot of stuff in silence too. There's a lot of stuff I gave up that I didn't have a discussion with her about. So it was like me looking back and saying, damn, I gave up all of this shit. Damn, if I wouldn't have gave up this, man, you talking about 1.2, we talking about, let's talk more like 4.4 right now.
See what I mean?
I would have been.
Thank you for
would have
being
been
honest.
there before COVID. I'm gonna keep it a buck, like you know, because I mean, we talking the mate. Like one of the calls I got was from Nicki Minaj.
I knew you was talking.
This was right before she was going on the Pink Print tour, the very first joint, and she was looking for a DJ.
Oh God!
DJ Drama had sent me a message.
Damn.
So it this wasn't for play. This was for real.
But that thing was fire on it.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like this, like you know, drama. I don't know if they reached out to Drama and them and they wanted Drama and them to do the tour or whatever the case may be. But for some reason, they knew that she needed a DJ to go out, and they was like, "Well, I know a couple of people," and I was one of the DJs that they reached out to, and I'm just like, "No, I can't do it." You know, so it's kind of like it was like I said, it was after the fact when I thought about all those things because I've seen where their careers had just went and probably like those 3 to 4 years that had already passed. And I was just like, God dang. So it's for me at that point, it was just kind of like, yo, and I'm a open giver, like, and I don't mind sharing game and sharing things with people. But at that point, it was kind of like, yo, you got to snap out of that. Be humble, but be humble and with a little hint of Kanye. Like, don't overly give and keep putting yourself last.
Damn.
Give, but make sure that you are part of that process and make sure that you make yourself a priority as well. And that's when it clicked for me because I had to go through that to feel it, to understand. And like I said, most people don't get those opportunities back again in any way, shape, or form. Me, I was able to get it back.
See, there we go. Always educating. Ladies, if you're listening, Skillz got 1.2 million. He'll trick off a little bit.
I will definitely not do that.
Pay attention, ladies. You heard what he said.
You gotta go find the artist playing skills for that.
Hey man, this been a good show though, man. Good show, man.
Yes, sir.
Sure enough, we're glad you came on with us, man. We appreciate this.
Yes.
Nah, man, I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Definitely enjoyed myself.
Yeah, man, this is what it's all about, man. We talk to the people. Y'all, this has been DJ Skillz.
Yes, sir.
Who I'm saying right now, you know, if somebody say,
Big
yo,
boy.
man, who the hottest DJ around here right now, I'm
Right.
going to say DJ Skillz. And that's just
Yeah.
not because you on the show with me. I would say that anyway.
Right.
That's just being
Nah,
straight
that's
up.
love.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
love.
And you know, it's earned.
Yeah.
Coming from a legend, that's love.
Hey,
Like
well, I
said,
appreciate you
you'll
calling me a
never
legend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nah, listen, man, you got your own place in this thing. Like your man said, but take it from another fellow DJ. Now I don't talk just to gas nobody up or to hype nobody up. I call a spade a spade. Like, you know, y'all DJs was really laying groundwork, you know, before I got there. Like y'all names were the names that was ringing heavy when I came into the market. You know, even if it was radio, like y'all had a radio on lock. Like, and during that time, you know, that was an important thing. Like, nowadays, nobody don't really care who DJing on the radio. To a degree, they do, but
Right,
y'all,
it doesn't
y'all
carry.
made that a thing.
Right, it doesn't
Yeah.
carry the same weight as it used to. But
It
I
does if you're doing it right. But then, like I said, like y'all was laying the groundwork of what it was supposed to sound like. Even to this day, you can listen to 1 or 2 jams and you hear y'all style.
yeah, it definitely
That's a fact.
it definitely carries on. Definitely carries
Yeah,
on.
that's a fact. You laid them bricks, man. You
And look how
gotta,
it's-
gotta give it up for yourself.
How it's transitioned. Now he is the host of the longest running hip hop podcast out of the Carolinas.
Yeah, we
Check the
we
stats.
4 years in now.
Check the stats. The longest running.
Yeah.
We seen them come, we seen them go. We still here.
That's that shift. You keep it going. That's the shift.
Yes, sir.
Well, Skillz, man, we appreciate you, man. And ladies and
Nah,
gentlemen,
man, I appreciate y'all.
hey, look, if y'all see this dude's name on social media, go check out the party, man. You know, go enjoy yourself. You'll have a ball. Dude does his work. You will be thoroughly entertained.
Yes.
And if DL is there, he got a couple of dollars for you.
I got them for you.
Yeah, but it's been the Capital City Podcast. I'm your host, Capital J, alongside my main man.
DL Glass.
We'll see y'all next week.